All right, welcome in everyone. We're going to get started on our free live monthly webinar for the first time live on YouTube. So, welcome to everyone who's joining us on the live stream. Guys, we're going to dig deep on this one, setting up our 2026 marketing plan and more broadly, going over the state of the tourism industry, how to maximize your bookings in 2026 and beyond. So let's jump into it. I got a lot of data. We spent a lot of time compiling the information for this one, so I'm super excited to bring it to you. So, who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, if you've been here on the webinars, you know I'm a skydiver, dad, a husband, a veteran of the Marine Corps. I have about 16 plus years of digital marketing experience, most of that in financial services, insurance, and with attorneys. So I bring a lot of experience from that world to bear onto getting us more bookings. We established Boomshot Media in March of 2020, and we've been working full-time in the business since January 2024. We run this free monthly webinar series. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on the website, boomshotmedia.com. And we're trusted by some of your favorite drop zones and brands in the industry. But ultimately, you should trust me because I want to take your money and multiply it. All right. So, for example, working with us, Skydive Colorado Springs, a new brand experience, complete marketing program, 66% year over year growth. Guys, that's 458 bookings from June through August last summer. And this year, 744. Our Kickstart marketing program is designed to get your business, just like Colorado Springs, to 1 million in revenue in about 24 to 36 months. And guys, we can do that because taking a look at the broader industry trends, growth is on the horizon. So that's why we're here. And ultimately, in 2026, digital visibility and reputation can make or break your business. So here's what we're seeing. Guys, a surging market and competition. The broader adventure tourism industry is experiencing growth. And I'm talking from $406 billion in 2024 to $1 trillion by 2030. That's almost a 17% compound annual growth rate. Now that means that competition is going to be constantly entering the market. And take a look at the US market share. Guys, 304 billion to 750 billion. We take in 75% of the worldwide revenue for this industry. So there's huge growth, right? Now, ultimately, if you don't actively market yourself in this economy, competitors or aggregators are going to siphon away business. I'm talking Groupon, Viator, I'm talking youradrenaline.com. And if you think they aren't, all you got to do is check your Google Ads account, right? Top insights, this is from active client account from August 11th through September 7th, right? Just up until this week. Let's take a look. Groupon saw impression share grow month over month. They're bidding on, for the keyword skydiving near me, Groupon's impression share increased from 65 to 72%. They're bidding on your business, guys. Now, broader, this keyword is part of the extreme sports skydiving category, which is experiencing, on average, a 23% search growth on Google. Guys, this indicates a broader switch to online search and booking. And where are most people looking at the end of 2025 when they're looking to book our experiences? It ain't ChatGPT. It's Google search and it's Google Maps. They still dominate going into 2026, which means the bulk of our efforts should be around showing up here. Generally, with our Boomshot Media clients, we're seeing on average anywhere from 50 to 55% of all online revenue is driven from Google, organic, and Maps. That's huge. That's a huge number, right? They're still the king, and we still got to focus on Google quite a bit. Now, the breakdown, this is very interesting here, right? 75% of people never scroll past the first page of search results. So if you're not showing up on that first page for the queries that are important to your business, you're not capturing that business. 40% of consumers use social media to discover travel activities. And we look at just Gen Z, that jumps up to 66%. So while Google might be the bulk, don't ignore your social media. People are using that during their romance stage of deciding who they're going to jump with, what they're going to do this summer. Now you might think, okay, sweet, I'm just going to go advertise to Gen Z on Google Ads or Facebook. Nope, nope, nope. You'd be losing out on a ton of conversion value. Again, Google Ads data is great here. You paid for it, right? We paid well for it. So let's take a look at things right here. That 18 to 24 age group, those are your jumpers. Those are your people doing the experiences, right? But you can see that age 35 to 54, honestly, 25 to 54, that's where the bulk of your revenue is coming from. So we've got to acknowledge that experience gifting is big. That 45 to 54 age group, by the way, spending about 40% more than the 18 to 24. So just understand that, right? And you see this big column for unknown right here. The biggest spenders, they're not caught in an audience. So if we're limiting ourselves to, oh, I'm going to target 18 to 24, we're missing out on the bulk of our revenue, which is just kind of untrackable, the metrics here. And guys, the broader shift to online search and booking means is there's a greater importance on building trust. And in our industry, our business carries inherent risk anyways, right? Trust is paramount in what we do. Now, a 2023 study by Review Trackers found 90% of consumers are influenced by online reviews, and 64% check Google reviews specifically before visiting a business. Guys, we've got to be building our reputation here. You got to be managing that Google business profile. And again, something as simple as claiming and updating your profile has a large effect, making users 70% more likely to visit your business in person. Now, our next industry trend, guys, we know this one in and out. Direct bookings equals more revenue. Online ticketing agencies might be SEO powerhouses. They might show up on all of those searches, but they eat your profit. Groupon and these other platforms charge a 20 to 30% commission, and they force heavy discounts on you. And then, you know, what happens when there's an algorithm change or the platform goes bankrupt and your business has been relying on this ship the whole time? Well, crash and burn, right? Just love my AI image, you guys do. But there's good news, right? All businesses in our industry are experiencing a real return on investment from digital marketing. Consider, for example, email and SMS. That's the channel that we manage for our clients. This could be a huge return on investment. Email, for example, returns on average $36 for about every $1 spent on your email marketing. And your text messages, 90% of those are read within 3 minutes. Now, if you know you could just land a message in someone's pocket and they're going to open it within 3 minutes, that's power, right? If we're not leveraging those channels, we could be missing out on quite a lot of revenue. Guys, it's also the only marketing channel that you own. You own your email list. You own your customers' phone numbers. Are we using that data after the fact, or did we just take a transaction, send them their video, and then they're on their way? This could be a huge ROI for us, especially during gift giving season. And again, with Google Ads, right? Google Ads is designed to capture existing market share. You jump to the top of organic searches that take months or even years to build. And these are some actual returns that we're seeing over the last few weeks with our clients, right? Actual return on ad spend, 11x. Return on ad spend here, 12x, right? Another client, almost a 30x. So that means for every dollar that's being delivered here, we're averaging anywhere from a 12 to a $30 return. You give me $1, I give you $30 back. One of my operator achieved a 46 ROAS in August. Guys, for every dollar spent on Google Ads, look at that, $500 spent in Google Ads, 20,000 in purchases. We're going to scale the crap out of that. But ultimately, the stakes are high, right? It's a zoo dive. We're playing poker. Guys, a strong marketing program is no longer a nice to have. It's a prerequisite for the future of your business. You are in the business of taking risks. Your marketing should not be. So with those broader trends of growth and online booking being acknowledged, let's take a look at our industry specific pain points that we're dealing with, right? Most of these are pretty known, but they're very specific to our skydiving industry, right? Seasonality and weather, right? No brainer. There's only so many sunny days. And, we got to talk about the differences between full-time versus start-stop marketing. Start-stop is what a lot of us are maybe used to, say April and May, if that's our season, we're opening up, we're trying to get some bookings. If we're lagging behind, where do we go? Okay, I'm going to do a Groupon, right? We've seen that so often. And what we get is this cash flow roller coaster, right? We're just totally dependent on the weather and the sunny days and random interest to get people to our business. Charted out, that looks like this, right? January, February, March. Oh, things are taking off in April. And when things don't take off the way that they have in years past, what do? We scramble trying to make things work. I need to get a guy to do my Google ads. I need to get a Groupon. Oh, they want me to do a $150 guy. It's crazy, right? So there's really a benefit to marketing year round and staying top of mind so that when we open our doors, those people who are going to gift experiences are already thinking about us, thinking about the cool stuff that we did last year, the stuff we've been putting out in our newsletter, and we're trying to stay in their minds, right? Now, there's also safety and consumer trust. Obviously, most businesses have some relative amount of consumer trust that they're trying to build, but we're going to hook people out of airplanes, right? And there's a big gap between consumer understanding and the skydiving industry in particular, especially around equipment safety and risk mitigation. If you ever read any of the news articles that come out when there's an unfortunate accident, it never describes the malfunction properly. The parachute failed to open. Well, great. What does that even mean, right? Well, they didn't pull the rip cord. Guys, we haven't used rip cords in forever. What are you talking about? And then on top of those communication hurdles, right, our social feeds are full of wingsuit base and proximity flying. This stuff is literally 1,000 times more dangerous than a regular skydive. And we're numbed out to it. It's just constantly in our social feed. I can't tell you the number of speed flying and base proximity videos being piped into my gym on a daily basis. So there's a very significant communication hurdle to overcome there, right? So we got to dig into that, because even though we might be, as a user, inundated with all of this wingsuit base garbage, right? When we start to feel that personal fear about going on a skydive, now we're pulling up main character energy, right? Like, oh crap, all these people fly, but they go to do a skydive. Now all of a sudden they're like the main character in their story, right? We need to bridge that gap and get past the communication hurdles, the social feed stuff, and dig into them personally, right? Now again, we dig into competition and pricing. This is a big problem in our industry. And it really depends on where we're going, right? Some of your competitors may not agree to keep their prices high. So let's take a look at kind of what we're seeing across some of our clients. These are real prices we're running right now for a tandem skydive. $283 in Colorado, crushing it, hundreds of them. $265 up in Massachusetts. Guys, we can get away with a little higher number. $279 in Washington, $219 in Florida. Guys, and in Florida, we obviously have a lot of significant competition down there, but over the course of a season, that $60 difference could become $60K. That could be huge. And we also have our online ticketing agencies, right? Adrenaline.com, $172, $152, $179, $47. Even more communication hurdles right here in Google when we're looking to book. Now, am I going to look at that and be like, oh, do I want the $47? I don't know if I want to go bottom of the barrel here, but that's confusing our prospects as to the value of what we're delivering. Another issue that we're dealing with: limited time and expertise, marketing expertise. You guys are running. You guys are running a lot at your airport, right? You're looking like this guy. You got pilots. You got your A&P. Some of you are running an FBO. You got fuel and staff to think about. You got training and currency. You can't be expected to keep up on the latest Google Ads, AI, and social media advertising developments, right? When we may know what to do, we may have gone to the webinars and gotten this information. But in the same way that I know how to build six-pack abs, you got to execute on the plan. And a lot of times, we're just too busy executing in our business to do anything else. So what have we done in the past? Maybe we hired a local marketing agency, right? These experience common problems too. Not enough industry knowledge to get the messaging right? They're lacking industry knowledge. They don't know what it is that drives our sport or what drives people to our drop zone. And so they're what works for a coffee shop is not going to work for you. If their expertise is just in your local area, they're going to be lacking that knowledge. And then the tracking is going to be difficult. You folks who are on Burblesoft, you're on your Peak Pro, you're on your Fair Harbors, you have to set up a custom template to track what's going on in that platform and then send it back to Google Ads, send it back to Google Analytics so that you can optimize your ad campaigns. A lot of these companies fail because they're trusting you or they're trusting the platform to get this done. If you guys have been working for a long time, you know that, look, we have to track our own results here for a lot of these platforms because it's difficult. And then they get confused. They don't even target the right audiences. They target likes, not intent. So they're targeting people who liked skydiving on Meta. That is anyone that has a wingsuit base video in their feed that they've hovered on. That's everybody. That doesn't target intent. That doesn't target purchase intent. And it's going to ruin our ads, going to ruin our audience. And they're going to be like, well, you're going to fire them. Many of us have worked with these companies before. That's difficult. Not that they're bad companies. They don't have the industry knowledge, the tracking knowledge, or the intent-based knowledge to get things done. So let's recap, right? Some pain points here. The seasonal swings, costly asset maintenance, and you need to constantly get in front of a steady stream of new customers. Whew. You guys got a lot going on. I trust. I love you guys in this industry, but man, you got a lot going on. So let's move in now to your 2026 marketing plan. Now, this is based off of what is effective right now with the clients that we are working with right at the end of our season, right? Guys, shoulder season is here. It's September. Things are starting to cool off up north. Bookings are starting to decline a little bit, and we're thinking about what? Gifting season. We're thinking about next season. What are we doing to build the authority to get everything up next season? And now if we're in the southern drop zones, right, it's also shoulder season. October is going to be, snowbirds are coming down. We're going to be ramping things up, right? So exciting time of year, and we're all thinking about how are we going to build our business going into this next season. So we take a regular drop zone who's just been doing some regular marketing, right? What if we could lift you from this? We got you at about $250,000 in revenue to this, right? We've got some revenue pumping in January and February. Oh, Valentine's Day. Even got some in March. April, May, and June. Hey, Mother's Day and Father's Day. And we're building that momentum all the way into the season. All the way into the season here. Now, this client's doing about $430,000 in revenue just by lifting that floor of the gift campaigns and then getting the targeting better in season. And this is what we can do with our clients over and over and over again. Because again, you're so busy maintaining aircraft and your staff and staying current and doing your training, doing AFF jumps, doing tandem jumps, doing your A&P. Wow. But email list size matters when we're gifting, guys. We'll dig into that a little bit more. Ultimately, you need to be engaging that email list ASAP. And here's what we do, right? I've presented this to you guys before. If you've ever seen any of the webinars, this is our vision of an optimized digital campaign. It begins with your website. Then we start driving traffic via search. So there's Google, there's YouTube, there's AI, there's other, there's Bing, DuckDuckGo. Mainly it's Google though, come We got social media, right? We got people actively looking at our social media and checking stuff out. And then we're driving some high intent search ads mid-season, right? That's going to be super important. Ultimately, we're building those customer connections and we're getting data and contact info so we can reach out for reviews. We got Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor going on right now, and some other ones that LLMs are picking from. And then we can reach out via email and SMS. We can set up retargeting. Anybody who maybe didn't buy but landed on the website, we can target them again and say, hey, here's our special deal, come back. And ultimately what we're doing here is we're taking our audience lists, our customer lists, and we're feeding that information back into our ad platforms, our social media platforms, optimizing everything here. What that builds is what I would call this AI data feedback loop. I need a cooler name for it, guys, but we'll work on that. So let's check it out, right? The website builds customer connections. We get that customer data, and you can upload your list to your ads. Now, AI is everywhere now, and we're not talking about ChatGPT queries, okay? AI underpins every single social media and ad platform, and it has 20, 25 years of data on consumer behavior. So this is a super powered platform. We get this data piping in, it's going to optimize and get better and better and better over time as we pipe that in. Right, so your audience list, you're getting name, email, phone number, date of birth, country, transaction value. That's all you need, because on the opposite end, the social media platforms are tracking interests, friends, purchase behavior, ad insights, what are people watching? And they've been tracking, Meta's been around since 2005, right? So they've been tracking it for 20 years. So when you upload your list of people and the money that they spent, it takes and looks at that whole data set on all of the people that it has, all the billions of people, and it finds people with the relatively same interests, purchase behavior, and everything. I don't know how it works, but it finds people who spend more money. So when we start doing this, we might be getting an average order value of like, $279 or something like that. 6 months in, it's 330. So, a year in, we're getting these crazy bigger values because we're using the AI to optimize our campaigns to find people who will purchase more. This is all intent-based stuff, right? So use your customer data. Now let's jump into probably the number one thing that we could do for our marketing plan, guys. Optimize that website. Now, optimize digital campaign. The website is right in the center of it. And we basically have 3 keys that's going to help us convert better on our website, right? The first one, let's take a look at our metrics here. 85% of our website traffic on a mobile device. So we need to optimize that bad boy for speed. Make sure it loads fast on phones. You got a booking button in the viewport. The viewport is what pops up. This window is the viewport. You need a button here, right, in the viewport. Don't make people scroll. Most people don't. A lot of people don't scroll. Simple navigation with a booking option. Let me show you what this looks like. Very simple, right? Simple nav. Boom. Go book skydive right here where my thumb's at. I got a giant phone. But then if you click on the menu, tap. The menu slides out. Now your whole screen is the menu, and you can book a skydive. You can navigate through here, whatever you want. You do the same thing over here with Sebastian, right? A little bit different because we wanted that tandem skydive call to action in there. But what we find as we measure user activity, more people click on this than they do on this. Weird, right? But that's why we put a booking button there. So we track, we measure, optimize that website. And you got to make sure it loads fast. Check with your host. Use ChatGPT to tell it what host you have and how you can get it faster. There's plugins for that. But we need to be measuring that stuff on Google's PageSpeed Insights, especially if you're more rural and people are going to be seeing your drop zone website maybe from a slower 3G, 4G internet. That could be important. If they can't book quick, they're not gonna. Number 2, local search optimization. This is massive for 2025, and we're noticing a lot of things here are moving the needle on LLMs too. So your ChatGPT search, right? Starts with your Google business profile. Claim it. Start driving reviews for it. You got to get your business name, address, and phone number up there, your service areas, and then your service descriptions. Write a nice description in there. You know, those are all keywords and stuff Google's using. And then make sure you add your social links and reviews. Drive reviews, reviews, reviews. In 2025, driving reviews has been a massive ranking factor. If you're not driving those reviews, review relevancy, review frequency, like the number that we're getting, your competitors could just be crushing you there. So how can we do that? Guys, a QR code at Manifest. Everybody lands, they're like, oh, that was awesome. Hey, would you mind leaving us a review? Bam. Get them right there. And then an email and text message follow-up. Remember, 90% open up a text message within 3 minutes. Boom. That's an easy way to get new reviews. And I guarantee you, the vast majority of us are not leveraging that SMS because a lot of times it's hard to get the phone number approved for your campaign. And we can also add on like a monthly or seasonal giveaway here. That's going to be super helpful to driving more reviews, right? Like we could double, triple. We had a client get 99 reviews in the month of July that does a seasonal tandem giveaway at the end of the year. People will just sign up and do it, right? You got to encourage sharing those photos, sharing those videos. That's something that our industry does that nobody's going to the coffee shop and taking little Instagram photos of their coffee and like posting it, right? People want to post that skydive everywhere. They use it on their dating profile, right? And they scrub the tandem instructor out of it. But either way, those are really ways that we can increase our engagement and increase our reviews there. Treat it like a social platform. Build your reviews. That's going to be key. And again, the local landing pages, the Skydiving Phoenix, Skydiving Denver, still driving massive organic rankings and revenue. They work extremely well with ads and geo-targeting in your ads, right? I mean, here in Colorado, let's say I was marketing for Skydive Colorado that's out here in Lyman. I'm going to build a page for Skydiving Denver. It was like we did for Colorado Springs. And it's going to say, hey, we are the best, coolest, most experienced, most scenic drop zone near Denver. We're going to drop in our unique selling point there. And, you know, it's not about being the best. It's not about having a multi-turbine drop zone. It's not about having a Twin Otter. It's about relevancy. It's about relevancy in your brand. So guys, you can absolutely drive in there and be like, look, we're the most chill place near Denver, right? We got the best culture. We got the best this, that. That will win. That will win on your landing pages. And if we're targeting the term Skydiving Denver, we just send it right to that page. We get a super good landing page score, super good ad relevance score, and then we get that top ranking on our ads for those cities, which is really nice. Now, right, communicate clearly. We're the best nearby, maybe not the closest, but a lot of times, you know, we've got to be measuring properly too to make sure that we're showing up. For example, March 2025. I believe this is for the search term Skydiving Miami. So if you're sitting in West Palm Beach and you're searching for skydiving in Orlando, somebody in Orlando is going to get a much different result than you. You may get closer businesses pop up. And so you can see how our client here is just not showing up on that left map. All of our dots are red, not showing up at all. And then here, these green ones, these are where we're in the top 3. Orange is like, these are like 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s. And then where we're positioned 8, 9, and 10 or whatever. So this is a great indication. Hey, maybe we don't need to run ads here. But if we were here, hey, let's run ads in Orlando because we're not ranking there organically. So that's how we can dial in our paid ads with our local SEO guys and really show up as much as possible in these areas organically, on paid, on social, on all these platforms. So that when people are looking for something cool to do, they remember us. They remember us. We got to stay in their mind. The third biggest thing that we deploy for clients that moves the needle, paid advertising. Google search ads is still the dominant paid ads that we run in 2025. Back in 2021, we were probably deep. We were pretty deep in that social media. I was saying not so much on Google Ads, but here we are. Um, Google Ads captures people already searching for your services. Now, if look back, right? Do you know, oh, I don't want to run Google Ads. Maybe I think I show up. Maybe you don't. If you're not using one of these tools, if you're just randomly sitting at the drop zone and you're like, I showed up for every search that I did, it's like, well, no shit. You're sitting at the drop zone. Your location is key. So unless you're going to go driving around the city looking at all these spots, we got to plug those holes with search ads, right? So we can capture existing demand. We run ads on Google Search. We use your Google Business Profile extension so that your map pack gets popped to the top. And we use display in YouTube. And high intent, right? We're looking for people who want to book a skydive now. Skydive places near me, skydiving near me, tandem skydiving near me, tandem skydive deals. We're not looking for what is tandem skydiving. We don't want those people necessarily. We're looking for intent. They're actively looking for our services. Let's jump in front of that. Conversion data is paramount. It is paramount. If somebody clicks on a Google ad and then lands in your booking platform and they spend $682 and you tell Google they spent $0, you don't spend any data back, Google's going to say this person was not a good match for your business. Over time, say you've done that 900 times, this person's not this person. You're never going to find a good match in your business. It's going to de-optimize your ad account. And again, that's where our local agencies fail us very often in that conversion reporting, tracking the actions on our website that is important to our business. And ultimately, you don't need to know this stuff, right? You know how much money you're putting in the bank. You know, ultimately, like, hey, things are working, things are looking up, things are not. But again, we got to be measuring properly, right, to make sure that we're in there. Social media advertising also has its place. Now we're talking YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X.com to a lesser extent if you guys are active there. And then on TikTok, we played a little bit around on TikTok. But what we're doing on social media is demand generation. These are cold audiences who may match the interests of our previous tandem customers, but we got to warm them up to us. We got to say, hey, we just got to, they're going to see us maybe 17 or 20 times before they buy anything, right? So we got to do a little audience building. If you go into your business.facebook.com backend, your ads manager, you'll see there's audiences. You can create them based on your Facebook page. You can create them based on the Meta Pixel, which is installed on your website. So website visitors is a good audience we like to do. Social engagement. And my favorite, lookalike audiences. Guys, a lookalike audience is exactly what I'm telling you. Take your customer list. I've got 2,568 tandems from last year. I upload it to Meta with all of the transactions. This person spent $585, they spent $682, blah, blah, blah. And then we build a lookalike audience using that. That's going to be the audience that we use to generate demand. That's going to be our sort of warmer, the lookalike audience. Like, you got to be engaging and creative. Cold audiences need nurturing, right? You're stuck in there between all of those wingsuit-based proximity videos and whatever else is on there, right? So you got to be engaging. You got like 5 to 8 seconds to capture them. But if we get the more we get those brand mentions, right, and people see us more constantly, it's gonna be better. Typically, all right, let's take a look at an in-season budget list, budget mix. So let's say July in Colorado, right? I'm running Google Ads with about 90% of my budget. The vast majority of that is in Google Search. We're having some success too with Performance Max now. So we'll do maybe a little smaller campaign with PMax, but really high intent search, like I'm saying. You got to do that keyword research too. One of our big terms here in Colorado is beautiful skydiving, for example. Not something that you would just think out of the top of your head, right? So you got to look at that keyword tool and tell. Target where you're ranking low organically. Again, we use the heat maps that I was showing you. We use Search Atlas. You can use White Spark. You can use Local Falcon, Local Viking. There's a lot of platforms out there that do that measurement. And then just target in the city. Don't do the whole freaking state. Just target where you're ranking organically low. Dial in that ad spend. But mainly we're targeting people ready to buy now, right now, and we can just jump in front of them. So let's do it, right? Social ads, we're probably running about 10% of our budget. Mainly, our lookalike audience is getting promotions and awareness campaigns. So like, oh, hey, check this off your bucket list. Oh, $20 off, etc. And then we're also running retargeting ads. The retargeting ads is going to be to anybody who's landed on the website. We're going to hit them up with a straight call to action. Like, you need to book now. We have limited listings for this weekend. We do, even if they're not booked up, right? Like, we have limited listings. Just throw a little FOMO in there. And also throw your promos into your retargeting, right? So that people are going to see that. An off-season budget mix. You might be using a little bit less here. Now, in-season budget mix for, like, let's say you got a 182 and a 206, like a lot of our clients. You could be spending anywhere from $2,000 to like $3,500 a month. Let's say your market size is around 600,000 to $1 million. With your cities nearby, I would be saying closer to $3,500 a month on that. And you're not gonna be getting the vast majority. The let's say in Colorado here, you probably have to be spending $10,000 a month to capture all of the existing market searches out there. So that's nobody's bidding that much on Google Ads here in Colorado. So that exists. There's an opportunity that exists there to capture that. Off season, we're gonna be using much less budget, maybe like $1 to $2K a month, November, December. But ultimately, we flip Google Ads 0 to 10%, right? We're doing retargeting, we're doing a little YouTube awareness, putting out our gift campaigns, but people are not actively searching for a skydive in January in Colorado. So we're not bidding on that, right? We got a little budget, but not so much. Social ads, we're running about 90 to 100% here, right? Running our gift campaigns, we're running our retargeting with FOMO messaging, limited bookings, limited seats, limited time offer, right? Limit everything. And we get much more success with those social ads if we've been warming people up with our videos over the year and what we've been doing. And, oh, hey, Kim Noor did a skydive here. Awesome. And then we do in season, right? In season, Google Ads is the way to go. You're going to get a lower cost per customer acquisition here. They're going to spend more money. They're actively looking for you. It's going to take longer here. Another thing that is going to move the needle moving into 2026, and I advise this for everyone, content on your website. Updated content is really a key ranking factor. If you've got someone who's actively putting out content and events and debriefs and newsletters versus not, Google and all these other search engines, they take notice. They can see that that's happening. And they can see the activity that's happening on social media too. So they're taking a look at all this stuff and saying, this business isn't working as hard as the other one, right? So content marketing is great. It's all about staying top of mind. So when those 45 to 54-year-olds are looking for experiences to gift, they remember you. And they say, I'm going to buy my 18-year-old teeny bopper a skydive, because why not? I did it way back when and I loved it. So we're going to write some website articles, right? We want to entertain and inform. You could write about events and milestones, testimonials and customer stories. Hey, somebody drops a good review on Google. You could drop that in the newsletter. You could also share customer photos, right? Or Fun Jumper photos. So we can entertain, inform. We can also write stuff to convert. Talk about skydiving safety. Talk about pricing, what to expect. Frequently asked questions. You guys need an FAQ on the website. Big ranking factor, as well as it's great for user experience. And then, are we just posting this on the website, or are we doing something with it? Shoot it out to your email list. You got past customers, you got Fun Jumpers. Segment that list, engage them, get them back to the site. Push it out on social media, right? You put it out on your Facebook page, you got an Instagram post, put it up as a stories, a reel. You can also boost to your lookalike audience, right? Boost it at $100 a month, your new content, boom, boom, boom. It's just constantly in their feed. And then come time season opens, I spend a little bit of money on ads, and I'm going to be able to spin up those early season deals real quick. Now, Customer data, guys. I've been harping on that this whole time. I'm talking about my AI data feedback loop, AI this, lookalike audiences. Customer data, you own. Your customers have opted into communication with you, and they can become raving fans, even if they never book another skydive. But they will. Yeah, I am constantly astounded at the number of clients who tell me, "Oh yeah, we have people, folks that come out every year. They do 2 or 3 tandems, and then that's their thing, and they've done like 40." This person has spent $20,000 at your business. They can become a raving fan, right? You get a review, get a testimonial, upsell them, do a giveaway, a caption contest, share content. You want to access their network. The average person's social network is 338 people across like Meta and Instagram. So that's big. So if they become a raving fan, post their stuff online, you have all of a sudden reached 338 people, another 338 for every person that you've done that. And also this customer data can enrich your targeting and attribution. So you've got your lookalike audiences. You could upload enhanced conversions, but ultimately what we're trying to do with our customer list is match the click to the sale. And that's in Burblesoft, all these other booking platforms. That's extremely hard. So when we use the list and we upload it, we're doing a much better job, but of course it's a pain in the butt. It's a manual process. We got to clean the list, but it works great. Now you got all this customer data. What are we going to do with it? Besides, we've been enhancing everything. Review campaigns, right? Email and SMS. Automate it. Automate 3 emails, a couple text messages. There's multiple platforms. You can do that in Klaviyo, High Level, etc. And this also helps you rank in maps, right? Not just with other competitors in your industry. You're in competition now with every experience that's out there. It's a busy feed. So we got to rank organically there. Guys, we upload it to Google Ads. So with transaction values and the Google Click ID, you've got enhanced conversions, right? So basically it says, oh, this click, maybe we've assigned it a certain value on our end. But then once we upload that customer list at the end of the month, end of the season, it links all that together and it goes, I'm going to find you more people who are more likely to spend more money. That's how we get from the 20x on our Google Ads to the 40x, right? That's a campaign that's been going for quite some time. And then again, do the same to social media. Upload customer lists, better conversions, build your lookalike audiences to improve your top of funnel reach and engagement. It's going to find people who are more likely to click, like, comment, follow, buy when you do that. If you're just running it to a cold audience, it's going to take a hell of a long time for that to get spun up. So what are our next steps here? We got our marketing plan sort of figured out. I want to break it down and just have you guys prioritize. So number 1, the website. Optimize it for this sucker right here. All right. Optimize it for bookings. Optimize it for local SEO. So on your main page, you want to have your main target city, right? Skydiving Denver. And then you want to have your couple city pages made out for your smaller towns. And then just make sure you got those booking elements squared away. Make sure that it loads fast. I should probably do a webinar based on that. I don't think we've done one on hosting and speed yet, but that's key. Probably get in touch with your host or us if you're curious about how to make that happen. Then, if you're looking for business now, I would layer in Google Ads. That's high quality traffic now. If we're in season or if it's even shoulder season, just get it rocking now. Those are people actively searching for your business. You may not be showing up right away. You could just jump in front of that search. Social ads, retargeting and offers only, right? Prioritize that. Get your retargeting audiences up. And then you convert people who've landed on the website. They've already shown some interest, but maybe they didn't purchase. Don't just leave them hanging. Don't just be like, oh, I just want the people ready to buy now. Let's romance those people a little bit. Get them back for a coffee date and then throw them out of an airplane, right? We're going to do that with our content marketing and our social media and everything like that. So get some content marketing up. If you got a small fun jumper group, this is easy to do. You could write about safety. You could write about gear. You can write about events. You could share customer photos. There's always something to write about. And I would encourage you to be putting something up at least monthly, especially if your competitors are not. That'd be huge. And then let's get squared away on our first party data strategies. This is the data that we own: our customer lists, our email, and our SMS. Those are the marketing channels along with your website that you own. You don't own Google. You don't own Meta. You don't own Instagram. You don't honestly own any of the content that you post on those platforms anyways, if you read the terms of service. So invest in your business and the data that you own. Use that as your core piece and build it, and then use that in the different platforms, right? What if ChatGPT becomes the biggest search engine instead of Google? Well, we could take our customer data now and build our AI data set. No problem. We could take it here. We could take it there. That's huge. So at the last, at the end of every webinar, sales pitch, guys. So I want to show you what it's like to work with Boomshot Media and some of the results that we've been getting this season, right? Guys, we took on Skydive Seneca Lake up in upstate New York. Beautiful drop zone. The videos coming out of there are stunning, right? And they're running a 182 and a 206. But the scenery, the quality of the tandem photos coming through, guys, we're crushing it. 69% year-over-year growth. We started working with these guys in May, the end of May. So from June to August 2024, that's 236 bookings. And June to August 2025, 341 bookings. So over the season, additional 95 bookings year over year. That's massive. You know, do the math for your average order value, and that could be substantial income. You know, 100 tandem bookings could be, right, like $21,000 at our Florida drop zone, $30,000 more if you're upselling video and everything. That's all on the back of our Kickstart marketing program. Is designed to get your business to about $1 million in revenue in 24 to 36 months. We are tracking on that goal with these guys. Skydive Colorado Springs, we've been working with for, a year and a half now. And again, 66% year over year growth, even though we were building them last year, right? June, July, and August of last year, 458 bookings. Guys, the same time period this year, 744. That is an additional 95 bookings per month, additional year over year. And that, again, on the back of our Kickstart marketing program, which deploys everything that I've just showed you here. So if you're ready to dial in your marketing, guys, it's real easy. Book a strategy call. We got limited bandwidth. We got a small full-time team here. So let's talk. We are not here to churn and burn. We are not a sales and then see it in 6 months agency. We're here to build long-term wins with people who give a fuck. So if you want to book a strategy call, book. We got limited bandwidth to talk, so you guys can go ahead and set that up. It's at discover.boomshotmedia.com. It's very much a call where, look, it's collaborative. I'm going to ask a ton of questions about your business. I'm going to dig in to everything we talked about and see, hey, what's working for you guys? What's not? Maybe what's missing in your marketing mix, and I'll give you a roadmap forward. You could take that path, implement it, and I hope you do, and I hope that your business wins. But ultimately, too, we'll show you what it's like to work with us. You know, we'll show you growth, dig more into the case studies, how we do the maps and everything like that. And we can run a 12-month projection for your market size, your bookings, and your media mix, and tell you exactly, roughly what that's going to look like as we deploy our marketing package into the next season. So let me know if you want to peek behind the curtain. I can show you exactly how we track, how we target, how we convert. I will show you all beneath the hood, just knowing that you have way too many airplanes and staff to maintain to actually do it at this level, right? And that's what we're here for. We're a full-time marketing team at your service. This is a service business. So thank you, everybody, for attending the webinar. Thanks to everybody who tuned in on our YouTube live stream for the first time. I love that we are getting our content out there and helping businesses grow. Guys, questions are always welcome. If we want to turn it to the QA, we're going to stop the live stream. You got to attend in person to get your answers, guys. So thanks, everyone, for coming to the Boomshot Media first live stream of all time.